New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good evening, and welcome to the Miracle of Prosperity here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm your host, the Reverend Dr. Jim Webb. I'm the author of the book, The Soul of Prosperity, as well as a number of other books, including 30 P's to Prosperity, Prosperity from A to Z, Create Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board, and Forgive Your Way to Prosperity, all of which are now available on audiobook as well as in other formats on Amazon.com. Every Sunday night, we get together and we discuss prosperity. And we understand prosperity and we discuss prosperity as a multi-dimensional thing. It's so much more than money and stuff. It could be spiritual prosperity, where we have the peace that passes all understanding. We could discuss logistical prosperity, where our lives work easily and effortlessly with a minimal amount of hassle or struggle. We could also discuss professional prosperity, where we have a wonderful job with wonderful pay, where we provide a wonderful service in a wonderful way. Or we could discuss prosperity of resources, whether they be financial resources, support resources, emotional resources, physical resources, including physical balance and health. So we look at all of these aspects of prosperity, and each week we look at either a way to enhance our existing prosperity and draw it to us because it's hidden in plain sight, or we might discuss a way to remove the barriers to prosperity. Because as Rumi, the Sufi poet, says, love is all around us, and our task is simply to remove the barriers to the love that already exists. Well, prosperity is just another way of saying these are the forms that love can take in my life. So I will remove the barriers so love can show up in my life in these forms. So every week we have a wonderful journey. Tonight we have a wonderful and somewhat of a surprise journey. So let us begin by acknowledging and sending prayer, love, and light to our scheduled guest, Jerome Braggs. He contacted me at 7 Eastern to let me know that his mother wasn't feeling well and he may have to take her to the emergency room. So let us send him and his mother love and light. So he and I were going to discuss self-love, loving your way to prosperity. And we were going to discuss our mutual teachings on the matter and all that we've received from Spirit. So, standing in the gap, as often is the case, is my producer, the Reverend Michael Mangus. And I want to bring him on camera now, for he is going to help facilitate this discussion, loving your way to prosperity, all about self-love as the key to prosperity. Welcome, Reverend Michael, and thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Now, I just want to let you know now, I have to put in with HR about that. See, there's different fees. So I get paid differently when I produce and then when I'm talent. So I get the talent fee tonight.
And you know what? And you know what? HR is going to write me up for squandering resources.
Well, it's really good. I want to wish everyone in your audience again. I hope you're having the best, happiest holy days ever. You know, I had a teacher of mine that would not say happy holidays, but he'd say happy holy days. And that kind of encompasses all of it. So again, happy holy days to one and all. Thanks for watching tonight.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for being here.
So let's talk about self-love. And one of the programs I produce is for the Louise Hay trainers world. And that's at 12 noon Eastern time on your New Thought Media Network. What would Louise say? But Louise comes at it from a point of view of that everything comes from a place of we don't feel that we deserve it, number one. And number two, that we do not have self-love towards ourselves, that's usually comes from childhood. So if I'm having a hard time loving myself,
yes,
how can I get beyond that? And then I have a follow-up.
Sure. If you are having a hard time loving yourself, as you said, it may be due to childhood trauma or childhood misinformation that has sent you the wrong idea that you are something other than love or lovable.
Right.
The most efficient way to correct that error is to immerse yourself in love. When you meditate, when you commune with the higher power, when you work with the higher source, and this can be quite simple. God is love. And as A Course in Miracles says, God, being love, is happiness. Right. So the simplest thing to do is to say, God, I let you in. These 5 words open you to a miracle, which is a shift in energy and a shift in perception. You begin to feel the energy of God, which is the energy of love, all around you. You begin to feel the energy of God, which is the energy of love, within you. And that energy begins to expand. Your awareness of that energy begins to expand and expand and expand. And the more your awareness of that energy of God's love within you expands, the energy that shrinks till it disappears is the energy of undeservingness, the energy of self-criticism, the energy of self-doubt, and the energies of misinformation and the energies of trauma due to misinformation. God expands and the ego and its self-rejection shrinks.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Reverend Dr. Webb, you don't understand.
Yes.
You don't understand that I was berated, abused. I was told that I have to put others' needs before my own. I feel that I have a low self-esteem. I've been told that I'm not worthy or worth it.
Mhm.
I was neglected,
Yes.
and I could go on.
Mhm.
So okay, so if we know that we've had those messages,
Mhm.
how do we start switching that around to love?
We shift our perspective. A miracle is a shift in perspective. So, from our human self, that is our story. From our human self, that is our experience. From our human self, that is the energetic imprint that we carry.
Okay.
Once we become adept at meditation, at communion with the light, what happens is we take ourselves out of our human self and we begin to see ourselves as if we are an actor in a play.
Mhm.
Now, this is fascinating because when you see an actor in a play who might have a story similar to yours, your automatic response is to feel empathy for them,
Oh,
is to feel
absolutely.
love for them, is to want to protect them, is to want to hold them and lift them up. Well, when you go into your highest self regularly and you begin to walk the world as your highest self, and even when you begin to go into your highest self to address your human self, you have that same love, empathy, understanding, and compassion for your human experience. And you
Okay.
send love to it because when you go into your higher self, you are one with God. And
Mhm.
you then allow God's love to comfort, to surround, to support, and to uplift those parts of you that have gotten mired in your human story. So, this process of inner processing is a process of introducing the love of God to those parts of yourself that have been miseducated into not loving themselves. So, their vibration begins to shift. The vibration of your inner child begins to shift. You begin to release the pain and the trauma that you have carried. And so the vibration of pain and trauma that continually draws more pain and trauma to you,
Right.
that vibration begins to shift until you cannot. Your awareness of yourself begins to shift. You realize, wait a minute, I'm not this body that had these experiences. I am the eternally innocent, holy energy of God because you have begun to experience yourself as that. And the more you do that, the more, as one of my ministers, the Reverend Cynthia Bond says, more of thee and less of me,
Mhm.
more of the light self that you were created to be becomes your energy, and less of the energy of self-rejection, trauma, shame, self-doubt, and self-withholding. So that process is an ongoing spiritual process outlined in chapter 8 and 9 of my book, The Soul of Prosperity. Because interestingly enough, that book is, I think, 263 pages. But
Okay.
the key point in it is that self-love is the key to prosperity.
All right. So another playing again devil's advocate.
Mhm.
Um, well, on some level, Reverend Jim, isn't I'll go with my first question because I have two. The first one is, okay, what does self-love? So the scriptures say
Mhm.
that the love of money is the root of all evil.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you have grown up with that and
Yes.
were taught that at the church,
Mhm.
that money is the root of all evil, how does that play into us loving ourselves? Go ahead.
Yes. We have been, uh, let's put that idea into context. The love of money is the root of all evil. The implication there is that it is the love of money instead of an awareness of God's presence, because money has actually become a substitute for God. That's the implied aspect of that scripture.
Or worshiped.
Or worship instead of, I won't say the word worship, but When we worship money, we do not allow our consciousness to be aware of God, because our consciousness is focused on the worship of this thing, which is a substitute for love, instead of our consciousness being focused on love, which is love. So
Okay.
when we focus our consciousness on love, which is love, then we are in alignment with another scripture. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else shall be added unto you. You see, quite often when we are in our human ego body, we perceive love where it is not. A Course in Miracles says you're always going to be frustrated when you're looking for love where it's not. We look for love in our job title. We look for love in our zip code. We look for love in our bank account. We look for love in how others treat us. And so we focus all our energy on those external things. And when we focus all our energy on those external things, we cannot focus our energy on the infinite energy of love that is infinitely available and always knocking on our head, saying, let me into your mind, let me into your heart, let me into your energy, and let me into your world. That's the love of God. And so when we focus on the love of God, God's presence, God's energy, and God's embrace, we talk with God, we listen to God, we immerse ourselves in the energetic vibration of God. We are seeking the kingdom of heaven. For what we are doing is we are really taking the light of God that is all around us and the light of God that is within us, and we are merging the two. I and my Father are one, as Jesus said. And when we are doing that, we are immersing ourselves in the energy of love, the kingdom. We feel, that we are in heaven. And when we are in that vibration of love, we attract all that we desire, and some things we don't even dare to desire, because then all things are added unto us. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think that it makes clear sense. The other question that I had was this whole idea of deserving, which I think is tied into self-love. So talk about self-love. If let's say I'm doing visualization towards something, and that on some level, though, I don't feel that I deserve it, because, and again, with working with clients, and myself, because there's an underlying thought of that I'm bad or evil. So talk about how to overcome that.
Yes, absolutely. We often in our minds have created an imago, a false image of what perfect is. We then compare ourselves to that false image, and we find ourselves wanting, and therefore we feel undeserving. But in truth, as A Course in Miracles says, I am as God created me. And if you want a scriptural reference, God looked out on all that God created and said, this is good. And that means you as well. So when we understand ourselves in that context, we do not have to compare ourselves to a false illusion that doesn't exist. I used to think this was the wimpiest statement ever until I had a deeper understanding of it. You are where you need to be. We came here.
I don't like. First of all, I don't like that statement. But go ahead.
I used to hate that statement. Every time somebody said that statement to me, I wanted to take whatever it was in my hand, like this eyeglass case, and throw it at them.
All right.
But I came to an eventual differing understanding of that statement. We came here on the earth in order to see an outpicturing of our errors in thinking, so that we could heal them. So that when we are in the midst of whatever it is that we are struggling with, we are only struggling with the outpicturing of our internal consciousness that we came to heal. So we are doing our job. Our job on the earth is to heal our consciousness by seeing it and choosing something else.
Right.
So our job is not to beat ourselves up for doing our job. Our job is to be aware, this is my job. This is why I came here. I'm on task and I'm okay. And when we release that false image, we don't have a gap. And when we don't have a gap, there is no reason to judge ourselves, beat ourselves up, or get into an endless loop of unconsciously rejecting our good because we do not believe that we deserve our good.
So we need to align, we need to, not the small t, but the capital T, the truth is to know the truth about ourselves, is that, that we are loved.
Yes.
We are lovable. It doesn't matter what anyone has said about us.
Yes.
All right. It does. It, other people's opinion, that's their opinion.
Yes.
But so how does this tie in though to the inner child? Because, and the reason I ask this is because a lot of times that if I'm feeling unlovable, it's because that there seems to be within me, and again, the image of the inner child, which does not feel loved. So talk on how to heal that.
Yes. First, let's talk on how the inner child felt unloved. The inner child learned love with conditions. For that is how the inner child was trained. If this condition is met, then you will feel loved, loving, lovable, and loveable. If this condition is not met, then you will not feel loved, loving, lovable, and loveable. So the inner child had a set of standards set for it. If I have two parents, if they are economically secure, if they are emotionally available, if they are emotionally nurturing, and if all things break my way, then and only under those conditions will I feel lovable. But if anything is amiss, let's face it, and on this earth, things are amiss.
Yeah.
So some of the richest children may have felt unloved because they didn't have the nurturing, loving presence of their parents as the first human substitute for God's love.
Right.
Even in adolescence, the child who grew up in a secure household may not have had the support of their friends, or may not have even had any friends. And so they then, no matter how they grew up, still felt unlovable because they did not see these substitutes for love supporting them. And these are conditions we place on our lovability. So when we immerse those parts of ourselves in the unconditional love of God, that conditional love that we sought is that hole is filled where that conditional love that we sought wasn't available. So once again, going into meditation, going into prayer, going into immersion with light, and directing that light to that inner child that lives within, their inner pain, their inner trauma, their inner confusion, saying, God, I let you in to these parts of myself that have felt wounded, that have felt not enough, that have felt rejected, that have felt unseen, that have felt unheard. And an integral part of this is emotional release. Right. This is an really underexplored and misunderstood aspect of prosperity. And this is one of the X factors of prosperity. We carry all this energy within us. And when we carry this energy within us, it blocks the light of love that would otherwise move through us, cause us to feel comfort, and inspire us with that $1 million idea. So we have to release those emotions. A friend of mine, you see, I went to the Wharton School, and so we were all going to be like masters of the universe and stuff. And so when I went and started doing this mind-boggling religion stuff, my friends from Wharton, they'd say things like, oh, so you're one of these people that talks to baby dolls and teaches people to talk to baby dolls. And I said, yes, go. Yes, go.
They were thinking you were nuts.
They were thinking I had lost my mind.
Especially giving up a six-figure salary wherever, 6 or 7-figure salary where you were at.
Yes.
Saying, well, I'm going to do this spiritual thing full time.
They thought I had lost my cotton picking mind. Yes. So I'm one of those people. I talk to baby dolls and I help people and I teach people to talk to baby dolls. And what that is, all kidding aside, is taking the aspects of our consciousness that have felt wounded, neglected, unseen, unheard, unloved, and unbelieved. You'd be surprised how many of us have experienced some level of abuse and no one believed or protected us.
Absolutely.
And all those wounds and all that energy has been layered upon, but we've carried it around. And that is the energy that must feel, know, and experience unconditional love. So God, I let you in. And letting that energy in, directing it to the aspects of the inner child that have felt hurt, wounded, unseen, and unloved, causing that inner child to gradually feel loved in those places where it didn't, allowing that inner child to express. Express means to press out from. Express. So when we press out those energies of shame, when we press out those energies of doubt, when we press out that repressed pain, when we press out that frustration, that energy is then taken up into the light of God, dissolved, and the energy of light moves into those places in our hearts that have been broken. The energy of truth moves into the places in our minds that have been miseducated. And the energy of grace moves into our energies, totally rewiring our energies for love and good instead of for the self-rejection and self-judgment that has caused us to withhold good from ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I have friends of mine around that say, well, you don't understand that, I don't have blank. I don't have a good self-esteem. And again,
yes,
if they're hanging around me, I'll go ahead and say, well, you can give that to yourself.
Yes.
So the love that you did not receive growing up, this is something that the adult has to, again, to teach the inner child that it's, yes, that's true, but I am here now.
Yes. Yes.
And light is here now.
Yes. I am here. God is here. Light is here.
Right. And go ahead.
And part of that is who we choose to be. And what I mean by that is I've seen so many of my clients shift who they choose to be. Do you choose to be in your story, or do you choose to be in your glory? Your story is, I am this, I am that, I was this, I am that, I was that. But when you sit in the light of God, when you sit in the grace of God, when you sit in and as God, and the glory and the grace and the love and the compassion and the light and the wisdom and the power of God is fused with you and you are fused with it.
You're right.
You are no longer as willing to identify with your story. For that story is not you. One of the most powerful lessons in A Course in Miracles is, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. God created you perfect, whole, complete, loved, lovable, and love-able. God created you as love, like itself. And then we made up all these stories.
Right.
So who and what do you want to be? Do you want to be this story? Or do you want to be the glory of God that God created as you? And when you choose that, when you make that choice constantly, regularly, until you make it habitually, you are continually choosing to be in the vibration of your higher self, which is the vibration of self-love, which then allows loving circumstances into your experiences. So that's
Yeah,
one.
and I think that, again, understanding that anything that we did not receive growing up is that's again that when this is just my observation is that by meditating on a
Mhm.
regular basis, what happens is you develop an observer self,
Yes.
and that from that observer self you can start questioning some of
Yes.
the things that are going on. If
Yeah.
you want to find out how healed you are,
Mhm.
go home for the holidays.
It's true.
It's true. And that if you are, I'm just sharing with everyone, if you still feel really triggered or belittled, understand that a lot of that is not present moment. A lot of that is feelings buried alive. And it's just that your relatives, your friends, your parents, your brothers and sisters, all they are doing is giving you an opportunity to take a look at that stuff and to say, does it serve me anymore? Now,
Yes.
since we're in the holidays,
Mhm.
I, as an act of self-love, I have shared with others, they'll tell me, well, Michael, Michael, you don't
You don't
understand.
understand.
You don't understand
Yes.
that I have to go home for the holidays. And I lovingly question that and say, well, who gave you that rule?
Mhm.
Who told you that you had to go home
Mhm.
for the holidays?
And you know what
Oh,
else,
well,
Reverend Michael?
go ahead.
And who are you going home as? And that's so important because when we get around our family, you'd be amazed how we immediately time shift back to 30
Yes.
years ago and those old patterns and those old energies. And part of the reason that we don't want to go back now is because we are in a different pattern and a different energy, and that just feels weird. But the key is to go home as your healed and highest self by
Yes.
proactively addressing the needs and the wounds of the inner child so that you don't have to go back as the wounded, unhealed, unheard, unseen, devalued, teased, neglected inner child.
Right.
You can go back as your highest self, your observer self that has observed and experienced yourself as the light of God.
Right. And so again, that when I've offered that as a suggestion to individuals,
Hmm.
that from a place of self-love,
Hmm.
it's like, well, why, if you feel really beaten up going
Hmm.
home,
Yes.
then maybe today's not the time to do that. Maybe that to give yourself some space to be able to start healing that stuff.
Yes.
And then and then you can choose then to
Hmm.
go back.
Absolutely.
I usually say, understand that you have been doing all of this spiritual, emotional, mental work on yourself.
Yes.
We don't know how much that the other people have been doing.
Hmm.
More likely not.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
we, as the enlightened ones, again, not better than, but we,
Hmm.
as the enlightened ones, if
Hmm.
we go back, that we go back with no expectations
Hmm.
of that this is going to be the Ozzie and Harriet loving family.
Yes.
It's not going to, it's just not going to happen. Now, yes, people do change. There are changes again in consciousness and awareness.
Hmm.
However, if you go back, and again, this I'm telling on myself,
Hmm.
when I started feeling safe enough to go back,
Hmm.
that first of all is people were still, my family members were
Right.
still, I'm going to use a word, still pissed at me
Uh-huh.
for taking care of myself.
Yes.
So understand that some of your family will not understand why you did what you did.
Yes.
Okay. However, that if you're not in a place, and again, if you're not in a place to go home and have no attachments
Mm-hmm.
to what is going on,
Mm-hmm.
that what is that you'll be able to enjoy your family and not have any expectations. For
Yes.
me, when I go home now, or when I
Mm-hmm.
go and meet up with my brothers and sisters, I have zero expectation that this is going to
Mm-hmm.
be the nice Ozzie and Harriet family.
Yes.
Yeah, so by having or limiting the expectations, then I'm able then to
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and just to enjoy them. Have
Yes.
no attachments to this thing called family, and that anything I'm looking at those folks for, always three fingers back at me,
Yes.
because they're not sometimes family, especially when this thing called self-love is new. They're not going to understand
Yes.
why you're not going back right
Yeah.
now,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because
Exactly.
that they feel but that see and when understand that when one starts loving themselves,
Mm-hmm.
is that they will not allow themselves to be abused anymore.
Absolutely. That is self-love.
So if going home means that I'm going to be abused,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe again it's either limit the time or just go ahead and just say this is just not for me this year.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
one of the things you said, I want to emphasize a little more because it was so important. And that was, and let me put it in the context of A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles says, you often get frustrated, disappointed, and scared, for you are seeking love where love is not.
Mhm.
Quite often, when we're going home to the family and seeking what you characterize as the Ozzie and Harriet moments, we are seeking love where love is not.
Mm.
And so instead of going there expecting to get the love and being disappointed, what if we went there, as you said, only when we can be the love?
Right.
So we have no expectations of what they have to offer.
And again, understanding that your family members, many of them they're on some type of path, but they may have not done the work of healing, of spiritual growth that
Mhm.
you have in this moment. So
And
to love yourself enough
mhm,
to start saying, okay, I can do that. I can't do that. And
mhm,
that brings up another thing about self-love is that through boundaries, if I'm constantly giving myself away,
mhm,
if I'm constantly just give, and then I expect those people then to give back to me.
mhm.
For me, that's been a spot of of
Challenge.
contention. Yes, about
Yes.
it. It's my expectation that they're going to give love back to me because I've given love to them.
Right.
And so, what I've learned over the years is that's not going to be the case.
Mhm.
Is that for me again? My love comes today from a place of self love.
Yes.
Is that I do love myself. And again, a good test of if you wonder if you love yourself or not, do like they do in the Louise Hay classes, pick up a mirror, look yourself square in the eye, and say, I love and approve of myself 10 times. See what happens.
Yeah. And what comes up?
What kind of feelings come up when
Yes.
you do that? Because I
Yes. And
love
Yola
it.
Van Zandt often says, if when you declare yourself a thing, anything unlike it comes up for healing. So
Oh,
when you
absolutely.
do that, one of the objectives of standing in the mirror and saying that is to bring up anything unlike it, that it would be healed.
Right.
And that self-assessment is not a reason to be ashamed or to feel like you've missed the mark or to feel like you haven't made any progress. That is a reason to celebrate, because that is why we are here. Once again, we are here for the purpose of moving through the energies that are unlike love and allowing ourselves to be the energy of unconditional love. And we're here to learn that. And we're here to grow as a result of that. And we're here to reject pain and instead have the joy of love. And so anything we are doing to understand and to heal that which keeps us from love is our job and is progress.
Right. Right.
So
we've had a few comments here. Let's check them out here.
Okay.
Hi, Henry Harris. He's
Yes.
coming out with a new book next year.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to that. And Henry, you can contact me to be on my show. Friday evenings on the Fireside Chat, and also this show too.
And this show, Deborah Ellis, who is the wife of Rafe Ellis at the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living.
Oh, hi, Deborah. Happy
Hi,
holy
Deborah.
days to you. Nice to see you this evening.
Yes.
Good. How wonderful.
Yes. And she was responding to the fact that we have a set of standards and we compare ourselves against them. And
Right.
we need not do that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, our families programmed us very well. Okay,
Yes.
let's understand that.
Yes.
And the programming was based, it's generational.
Mhm.
Is that their parents probably did not know how to properly love and nurture a child because they weren't. And it goes back generation after generation. So part of the healing here is to say, okay, this comes to an end now.
Yes.
Okay, I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to not allow myself to be abused or to abuse myself.
Yes.
Especially with my self-talk, what is coming out of this mouth. Yeah, so that's one of the learning tools again to be able to allow yourself again to love yourself. Good evening, Wayne. Good to see you. Wayne Baldwin is with us from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yes, Calgary's in the house.
Yeah. And
yes.
Hi to both of you. Well, again, much love to you, Deborah, and also to Rafe. Happy holy days to you guys, and conference is coming up. Those in Centers for Spiritual Living know what that's coming up in April.
Yes.
So anyhow, we only have maybe like a minute. So what to kind of wrap this up, how can we practically use self-love to allow for prosperity?
Be in love. Be in a state of love. Be in the experience of love. Be in the flow of love. Be in the vibration of love. We have often thought that love, like forgiveness, was a verb. Love yourself. What if an aspect of love was not loving yourself as if it's a verb, but what if an aspect of self-love was being in a state of love? Being in alignment with the energy of love, being in attunement with love, being in the habitual experience of calling love in. All of those things attune our vibration to the energy of love. And when we are in the vibration of love, we can only allow, expect, and experience loving things, because love attracts love.
Right.
Whatever we are attracts its reflection in our outer world.
Right. And
so one of the ways to love ourselves is to consider loving ourselves as a state that we continually endeavor to attain. And when something happens to trigger us, that is an opportunity to call forth more love, because love is an infinite supply from a source of unconditional love that infinitely shines it upon us as we become more aware of it and its availability. So when something triggers us, we can then apply the love that we call for to that within us that has been triggered. And that helps us to maintain that loving equilibrium and stay in a state of love.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Reverend Jim, what are you doing these days? What's going on? I mean, I know you've been very busy. So
I've been very busy. I've been working on stuff for the new year, and I've got 3 new things, the first of which is very important because it comes up this coming Thursday, New Year's Day. If you've been wondering what's going on in the world, ask Spirit. This is channel predictions for 2026 and beyond. This is where Spirit works through me to give us guidance on world events, national events, and your events. So Spirit will give us broad guidance on what to expect in the world, what the world is going through, what the world will be going through in 2026, and then how it applies to us. And then you could ask questions. What does 2026 hold for me? What must I know in order to navigate 2026 successfully? What do I have to look out for? What can help me in 2026? So it's a question and answer session with Spirit as well. Because of that, I have to limit the number of people. And I actually put out something last night where I was 80% sold out. Now I'm 90% sold out. So if this is something of
it's
interest,
getting very close. If you want to go to this again, that sometimes people say, well, those guys are just joking. Oh, no, we're not. We're telling you actual numbers that, and that what happens is that Jim starts getting the phone calls of saying, well, can you get me in? And the answer lovingly has to be no.
Yeah.
So love yourself enough if this calls to you again to register now for this. And you register now for this by going to his phone number, which is 202-253-6009. That's 202-253-6009. You can also email him at revjimwebb at msn.com, or just go to the website at revjimwebb.com. Again,
Yes.
the 2026 is again, it's a blank book here. So to receive guidance for that year, I think it's priceless. So,
and I forgot to put a price on it. It's $25. And
okay. $25?
Yeah. Oh, I did put a price on it. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Reverend Dr. Jim.
I know. You know what? You know what?
What? Go ahead.
People come to this and then they come to my other classes, then they get readings and all that sort of thing. So it's a way for me to get to know new people, and they then do other things. So $25 is a small price to pay for an introduction to a new friend.
Oh, okay. Well, really good. Hold on here. Let me get, you have some other classes here too. And let me share my screen here. And these are coming up like in like weeks. So go ahead, Reverend Jim.
And they're already getting to be sold out, even though they're 2 weeks away. Opening the channel. And the premise of this class is that we are all channels for the light and love of God. We're all on some point in that continuum. And no matter where we are, we can train ourselves to be more open to Spirit. We can train ourselves to hear, see, sense, feel Spirit. We can open ourselves to discern Spirit, spiritual guidance, and to feel the love of Spirit more than we have before. And these classes are experiential, where you get to experience your connection with Spirit and deepen it, where you take advantage of the group energy in the class to do just that, and where you learn to feel more confident in your ability to connect with, contact, hear, feel, sense, Spirit in whatever way is comfortable for you. So it's on Zoom. It's 8 weeks. and it begins on January 12th. And its companion class, because I do two for the price of one, so its companion class is Spirit Speaks on Manifesting Your Vision. You see, we all have a vision or a vision board for 2026. We all have ideas on what we want to accomplish, achieve, or experience. You can ask Spirit, how can I do this? What do I need to watch out for? What are the prayers and exercises that I can do to manifest this? And you can get the answers from Spirit that are unique and specific to you. So it's 8 weeks. And it's 8 weeks, not because you go and ask Spirit a question that's one and done, but Spirit will work with you continually. And you immerse yourself in this powerful group energy of manifestation, which facilitates your manifestation process. So this is channel where you can speak to Spirit, and Spirit will tell you, guide you, love you, support you, pray with you, pray for you as to what you can do to manifest your good. And it's two for the price of one. These classes are 70 and 60% sold out already, and they will sell out soon too. So please don't call me on the afternoon of the class saying, can I get in? Because chances are I have, unless you want to hear a loving no from Reverend Jim Webb. If you want to hear and experience a loving no from Reverend Jim Webb, if you want to experience the establishment of a loving boundary, so
Yes.
you want to learn more about boundaries, then call me at 4:30 on the afternoon of one of these classes and ask, is there still space? I will give you an example of a boundary.
Well, so the reason that Jim limits the class is because, again, so that he's able to minister to the class. If you get too many in the class, what happens is then their needs aren't met. So by doing this, by limiting the number, what that does is that, and again, the prices for the class, I mean, basically is that they're priceless. So again, these classes sell out real quick, especially the learning how to channel in the other class. So go now to, you can go ahead and contact Reverend Jim at 202-253-6009, or you can go ahead and go to the website at revjimwebb.com.
Yes.
Thank you so very much for inviting me on this evening. This has been really good. And I'm going to leave you to give our viewers a final message.
Yes. Well, I'm going to give you a message from Spirit as it relates to wrapping up this year in preparation for next. Beloveds, as you conclude what you believe to be a calendar year, love yourself with a loving assessment of what you have learned, how you have grown, and what has shifted within you. Lovingly assess where you are without judgment or comparison, and lovingly receive the additional guidance to shift you to where your heart desires to go. Your heart desires to go home to an energy of unlimited and unconditional love, and to experience this in your world. So assess where you are with love, without judgment or comparison. Plan with the light of God how you would get back home. What are the thoughts that can occupy your mind that would guide you there? What are the energies within you that you can cultivate to guide you there? What are the actions that you are guided to take that would get you there? and come home. We wait. And as we wait, we facilitate. Be blessed and in the light of God. So I want to thank everyone, and thank you, Michael, for standing in the gap tonight. We send our beloved Jerome Braggs love with his family and the family emergency. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week here on the Miracle of Prosperity on the New Thought Media Network. Good night.